Good morning, folks. As you can probably see, I'm not on my RT today. It's with the fine folks of Bowker Motorrad for a service, and they've lent me an F700 GS for a couple of hours to go and amuse myself on, which I'm really looking forward to. Never ridden one of these before, so it should be a good bit of fun. So get a couple of miles under my belt and I'll let you know what I think of it. The first thing I noticed when I threw my leg over the bike was how small it is compared with the RT. It feels like a kid's bike. I really feel like I'm sitting on top of it. It's not a bad thing, it's just very strange after 6-7 months riding an RT and then a couple of years before that on a GS. So yeah, really small. But on the positive side, you can chuck it around very nicely in a way that you can't with the RT, because obviously this has a lot less weight. So yeah, that's something you really notice pretty much straight away. I think we'll pull off here and have a look around the bike. So there she is. Really like the colour scheme. The red frame with the white looks really good. It looks quite purposeful. If I'd known I was going to be riding the GS, I could have done a bit of research so I could sound knowledgeable at this point, but I don't particularly. So let's just have a walk around. So it's got traditional forks rather than the telelever system, which I guess makes sense. Twin front discs with Brembo brakes. I think that's pretty standard across the BMWs these days. I really do like that red frame. And that's quite a nice can on there as well. It's probably just a stock one. It's got a brushed aluminium type look on it. Got a chrome one on the RT and it's an absolute nightmare to keep clean. Constantly collecting little bits of tar and other stuff. Single piston caliper on the rear, not sure. Haven't given the rear brake a proper test yet, but so far it doesn't feel like there's a lot to it. But again, I guess that's by comparison with riding an RT, so I'm not going to get the same effect that I get from the rear brake on that. Nice tidy little rear end. And of course it's chain driven, being a GS. I have owned an F800 before, an F800 ST back in 2008, and that was the belt drive. Obviously a belt drive would be a very bad idea on a bike that has off-road pretensions. Manually adjustable suspension, which again is fine. I'm a little bit lazy, I'm used to the ESA I've got on my RT and I had on my previous 2 GS's. I can't see me missing that too much if I had one of these. Yeah, it's got the familiar GS asymmetric headlight, not LEDs, although it's very likely knowing BMW that that's an option. I think I'd probably want to get some riding lights fitted lower down as well if I had one of these. Nice big radiator there. Not much of a screen, but it seems to do a job of making sure the airflow that comes up is smooth, and I guess that's what it's there for. It really isn't the kind of bike where you're looking for a lot of wind protection. Handguards are a nice little touch. Again, I think they're pretty much standard on GS models these days. This one's clearly had a little bit of a drop. Very nice. Well, let's get back out to riding then. Just let this car get past and then we'll see how easy the bike is to do a U-turn. bit of slow speed manoeuvring. Well, that was very easy, and I think it could have turned tighter than that. Definitely a much better turning circle than on the RT, but you'd expect that. It's a much smaller bike. Guess it's got a larger front wheel. Very different beast. Well, this looks like Lytham St Anne's, so the sea, or the estuary, should be just over the other side of that bank. Well, this is where the police hang out. Stand up a bit. Yeah, she's soaking up the bumps nicely. Yeah, suspension's very forgiving on this. Yeah, very sure-footed. Not really bothered about this kind of terrain at all. Don't think the dog owner's very impressed though. I'll be turning around and head back. Yeah, if the looks good kill. Alright, so let's see if we can turn around on this without a spill. This is obviously the harder bit. Oh, nearly. Yeah, it's a bit slippy there. I'll tell you one thing, this bike has not got is traction control. That was that was a little bit heart in mouth. I honestly thought I was gonna put her over at that point, because that's the advantage. F800 is really light. If I'd been on my R1200 at that point, I think I would have gone over. Don't think I could have caught it. So yeah, successful off-road outing, albeit a very limited one, but I think I'd be quite happy to take this bike on a bit of rough stuff. I definitely need a little bit more practice though. Although I have owned a couple of GS's, I'm not really a off-road rider. Oh, that was fun. It's what I miss from having my R1200 GS. I wouldn't claim that I'm a confident off-roader, but I did take the bike down gravel tracks quite a lot, and that's not something I would do with the RT. Right, so just enjoyed a very pleasant cup of tea and toasted tea cake at the Files Beach Cafe. Very friendly bunch of people, definitely come here again. But now it's time to get back on the F700 GS and a bit more riding. Oh, national speed limits at last. Well, it certainly pulls, there's no doubt about that. It does start to vibrate quite strongly as you get up the rev range, but I guess that's what you'd expect. And it really is windy when you're going at motorway speeds. I think it would be safe to say that sitting on a motorway at motorway speeds is not what this bike was designed for. No, it's much more comfortable just blatting around the A roads. It's nice and light, easy to flick, got a good amount of power, not too much. In some of the big bikes you just can't use that power, but this has got usable power. So yeah, thumbs up. Right, I'm going to stop off at the famous Green Frog Cafe, Preston. Have a quick bite to eat before I drop the bike off back at Bowker Motorrad, and hopefully pick up my freshly serviced RT. So thanks again to the great folks at Bowker Motorrad for the loan of the F700 GS. Really enjoyed riding this bike. I'm already trying to work out how I can afford to buy one to sit alongside my RT. I don't think I can, but it's nice to dream about it, isn't it? So I think that's all, folks. I will see you next time, back on the RT, no doubt.